right next door, literally one toke away, that when you lift the veil, then the screaming elf hordes come bounding in. And when I did it, I was a fan of Sartre and Camus and Jean Genet and situationalism, all this weird kind of European 20th century spun down, tired out stuff. I was not a believer in elves, let me put it that way. And it just instantly settled a whole bunch of questions that I had been looking for answers for in the psychedelics. But in the other psychedelics, it was like always running through my fingers. You know, it is the imagination, it's mind, it's me, it's like dream. With DMT, the conviction is unescapable that, my God, this is real. It's more real than this world. This world is like a shimmering hallucination compared to the DMT world. And as to what it means, I'm not sure. I mean, I took pure DMT with me to the Amazon on one of the trips and got out with the ayahuasqueros and turned a couple of these guys on to this. And they were, number one, appalled, and number two, said, it's ancestors. It's ancestor spirits. I mean, didn't we tell you that we do it all with the ancestors? Well, that is, strangely enough, the conservative analysis. Because look at what you've got. You've got some kind of intelligent entity, not made of matter, made of light, able to communicate with English-speaking human beings, sort of, meaning with this visual language. Well, so it's either, if we put aside the figment of your imagination theory, which seems a little pallid at this point, then it's either an extraterrestrial, a true extraterrestrial, and that's possible. I mean, think about it for a moment. If you were an extraterrestrial of great sophistication and skill and technological power, and you wanted to contact and interact with human beings without alarming them or setting off a historical crisis on their planet, how would you do it? I think you would hide yourself inside an intoxication. Because as we know, if you meet somebody and they tell you they were drinking heavily last night and they saw pink elephants, only a mad person calls the zoo to find out if any elephants have escaped. That's ridiculous. No, we don't take seriously reports of pink elephants because they are associated with intoxication. Well, if you wanted to disguise and hide yourself in the detritus of this world, in a place humans would never ever take you seriously, then just slip in between the pink elephant and the something else in an intoxication. So that's one possibility. True extraterrestrials with some kind of mentalist technology, that where what we think of as a drug is for them a communications network of some sort. Or it could be a parallel continuum of some sort, not exactly made of matter. But how weird that the way you get from this world to that world is by using a drug. But maybe that's not so weird. Maybe the idea that you would climb in an H.G. Wells-style machine and push a button is just absurdly 19th century and naive. But the more conservative position, since we've never discovered extraterrestrials or dwellers in parallel continuums, and since these things, they are alien and yet not alien. They are alien, and yet the alienness is pervaded with a real sense of familiarity. So I think that what they are is souls. And this is what the shamans in the Amazon said they were. They're souls. And that what we're seeing is an ecology of souls. And, you know, it took me the first 16 years of my life to fight my way free of the Roman Catholic Church. And I'm appalled that life's intellectual adventure has brought me back to the point where we have to talk about souls. But hey, once you've been there, once you've been swarmed by a mess of them, your view on this subject changes. And I think it's very interesting news. I don't know. Well, it's like dying, sort of. And I, at one point, had an opportunity to turn on a Tibetan monk to these things, a Tibetan Lama, not a Budweiser Lama, not one of those people, a real Lama. And he's since died. He was ancient then. In fact, I was afraid it might kill him, but he said it didn't matter. But he said, after it was all over, he said, those are the lesser lights. He said, you cannot go deeper into the bardo and return. He said, if you go deeper into the bardo than this, you will sever your connection to the body. And so essentially what he was saying was it's a near-death experience. But it's a lot weirder than the near-death experiences being popularized on daytime TV and in the New Age press, which are all about welcoming relatives, holding out their arms and beckoning. This is not welcoming relatives we're talking about here. I think they are souls, but I don't think it's Aunt Minnie and Uncle Ned. I don't think it works quite like that. One of the very weird